This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
The CNN post that just went up kind of shows exactly what. Oh, and here's an ALX take. Always go with the ALX take. ALX quote tweeted CNN. They've deleted a tweet, but this is incredible. I didn't plan on starting off here, but like, why not? Everybody's talking about Iran. Yeah, we're gonna have to show the actual proper tweet. Thank you. There it is. Thank you, Klein. Everyone's talking about Iran. And everyone's talking about why you can't have terrorists over in Iran. But ain't nobody talking about why you can't have terrorists here in our country. It is why, with every single time that we mention Iran, ALX, am I right on this? Every time we've done a read about Iran, every time we've done a story about it, we are constantly telling people here in our homeland to keep your head on a swivel. What has been done to our country? What has been done to the demographics of our country, the harmony of our country, the social health of our country is a crime against humanity. We used to have a country that believed in itself because we had a common cause. The vast majority of the country was Christian, something to the effect of 90+%, all the way up until the 80s, 90s. The vast majority of the country, by design, shared a similar heritage, similar value system, shared a common language. We did not have an influx of foreign and alien ideologies into our country because that makes for a bad country. And that's the point of immigration, is actually to keep alien ideologies from creating friction and to disrupt a harmonious system in your nation. You can't have harmony when mothers feel scared to walk their kids down the street. It's a very simple test. Do you feel like you can take your kid to the public park in your town? Now, this is a test that can be passed or failed, depending on where you live. But this is the test of, do you have a functional society? Do you live in a functional town? If your public park is filled with piss-soaked vagrants and bums, if your public park is filled with out-of-work degenerates sitting around smoking weed, if your public park, which is the intention of the point of your public park, the point of a public space like that, is for the flourishing of families, so the American government can have more taxpayers born and bought in so we can run a country, and not a welfare state for the third world, field an army, have resources, create great minds, continue our people and our great story, our incredible story, the most incredible people to ever live, quite frankly, I would argue, without a doubt. America in the last 250 years, the most incredible nation and people to ever live. Stand proud, be proud. The purpose of that place and your neighborhood and where you're raising your kids is security, safety, and to ensure that we can make more Americans. If your parks, in every single big city, in every single Democrat city, I live in a big city, I live in Tampa, our parks are immaculate. You can eat off them. You never see a bum. You never see a degenerate. Somebody starts smoking weed, they'll be run off by the dads. Dads will get their belts off, whipping people. Seriously, it'll happen. I've watched it happen, actually. People don't tolerate it around here. I live in a town filled with cops and veterans, military people. It's where CENTCOM is. Anyway, what's the point? The point is that what happened in New York this past weekend, and we didn't have a show yesterday, so we didn't really cover it, but perhaps you could grab me a photo or two, I'm sure we have it in the show, is children of first generation, I believe, legal immigrants, but brought over here from foreign lands with foreign and alien cultures, incongruent and inharmonious with Western civilization, decided to throw bombs, nail bombs. I call them an IED, okay? That would be the wartime description of the IED. These terrorists, 18 and 19 years old, these terrorists were radicalized by ISIS and threw bombs at a peaceful protest. There's a peaceful protest against Islam. If you can't protest Islam, it's not America. okay, then our founding documents mean nothing. You have a right, and if you feel it in your heart, an obligation to protest Islam in our country. Like, it's America. Oh, I thought this was America. It is. And that's what's going on in New York. There's an anti-Islam protest. Okay, totally, like, absolutely that's allowed. And frankly, it should be encouraged in a free society. People protest all the time. Sometimes you disagree. Sometimes you agree. Whatever. It is what it is. You shouldn't die in your protest. And that's what the ISIS Islamists who were legally brought over here, who were coddled by our nation in order to create a circumstance where they would throw the bomb, where they would throw these bombs. Oh, we got better photos than that, boys. Where they would take these bombs and throw them at a protester. So this is like exactly the point that we've been making. There's like an unbelievable series of photos here, and also an unbelievable video, my favorite video of all time. A lib screaming, "We need more tolerance, we need more tolerance," as the bomb is literally thrown over his head. There, here it is. Perfect. Thank you, boys. We need more tolerance. We need more tolerance. We love and tolerate people. Listen.
Everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Yo, this nigga threw a bomb, bro. Yo, he threw a bomb.
Screaming, like, so white lib sitting there with a bullhorn saying, "We need tolerance. We need to bring in more outsiders," as a guy yells "Allahu Akbar" and throws a nail bomb, an IED. By the way, the authorities have determined that these bombs contained a very potent explosive. They weren't just dummy bombs. They weren't just glass jars filled with nails. That's bad enough. They contained real explosives, and a real shout out to the NYPD officers. You can see here in this sequence of photos, the officers who, by the way, like, were the ones who had to apprehend. They're all black. So it's like amazing how the Black Lives Matter conversation like collapses when it's a black cop and a nail bomb thrown by an ISIS Muslim teen. It's remarkable. Insane photos. Check out these black cops, like the bombs rolling around at their feet. Frankly, it's them, it's these cops, these officers right here who are the most at threat. Yet you hear nothing from these people. You hear nothing from feminists about Iran. You hear nothing from the BLM crowd about these cops. They're not going to be venerated. There's not going to be t-shirts with their faces on them. There should be. Look at this. You hear no one disavows these individuals, these terrorists, these homegrown terrorists. And this is why you need to have the full conversation. Yes, terrorism is bad in Iran. It's way worse here in our country. How do you get rid of terrorism here in our country? You stop bringing in absolute hero right here. Look at this. The officer runs towards the danger. He hopped the fence. He jumped the fence. I think we know this officer's name, if we could. This officer jumped the fence to chase down the ISIS terrorist. Chief Aaron Edwards wears blue. God bless you, Chief Aaron Edwards. The guy throws a nail bomb at him, an IED. The little Muslim terrorist throws an IED at this black cop, and the cop charges him, chases after him, beats him down. What have we said on this program before? Like, this is, by the way, compatible with the raw teachings of Islam, because you're not allowed, of course, to insult the prophet. You're not allowed, like, what was happening is Jake Lang was posting an anti-Islam protest. If you read the actual scriptures, if you read the actual commands, Muslims aren't supposed to tolerate that. And depending on how you interpret it, and there's plenty of interpretations. I don't pretend to be some scholar. But, like, free speech isn't allowed. That's been made very, very clear from Charlie Hebdo all the way through. Obviously, so many terrorist attacks, you can't count them all, name them all. Free speech is not allowed. Free association, not allowed. Freedom of religion, not allowed. So, like, why should we shouldn't be surprised when this happens. Because the, like, radicalization, okay, fine, but, like, this is commonplace in the Muslim world. And so you need to, like, have a very thorough and very very critical conversation, elemental. It's like the enemy is here at home. And the policies that did this. We talk a lot about illegal immigration. What about the legal immigration policies that did this? We legally brought in 150,000 Afghanis. No idea who the hell they are. Brought them in here, throw them on welfare. This show broke the news of a dude who's from Syria. He's an Uber driver in Dallas. He's talking about how he's going to use his car to do a huge car bomb. That guy got arrested. We were the first ones to break the video of him talking about like how he's going to use his Uber, to bomb a building in Dallas. That's what he said. He said it live on TikTok. He was brought here. He didn't run across the border. That's really bad. And obviously, all we ever do is talk about how terrible the open border was. It's insane and suicidal. But this is worse because now we're like the American taxpayers paid to bring in the Afghani who shot the National Guardsman and killed her on the streets of DC a couple months ago. How quickly we forget. All this was done legally at our expense. So if you're going to go now, like, lay waste to the third world, don't be shocked when the third world that's already here comes and lays waste to us. We've constantly said, you have to keep your head on a swivel. You should train. Get armed. Anyway, why does our show exist? One, for that like little rant right there. Sorry about that. Wasn't planning on doing that. ALX is like, oh gosh, here he goes again. We miss a show and we just miss talking about this stuff. The reason why we had to do the rant is like it's like a preface of like what the show is all about. Like, what if Elon Musk hadn't bought X? What if there weren't like podcasts like this? What if there weren't streams like this where we could actually like speak the truth? This is what CNN. Okay, so Zorhan Mandami comes out, makes a statement that these guys, that it makes it seem as though the ISIS terrorists were part of the anti-Islam protest, and that it was a hate crime against him. This is Antichrist stuff. It's the exact perversion, absolute polar negative of the truth. It's Antichrist stuff. Give me the Zorhan Mandami quote, and then this one from CNN is great. Please keep this up. Listen to how CNN framed this. Terrorist attack by ISIS. ISIS teens attacking Americans who protest Islam. That's what happened. It was captured in 4K. There's no doubt. Now these guys are being charged with terrorism charges. I know Pam Bondi tweeted about it yesterday. You can get me the charges. So like bona fide, legitimate, caught in 4K terrorism, legally brought here by the idiocy of administration after administration that allowed unquestioned, unchecked migration here from the third world. Here's how CNN frames this. 2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. First off, that's just horrible writing. Normal, abnormally. Who's writing this? ChatGPT wouldn't make that mistake. Anyway, but in less than an hour, their lives would be drastically changed as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs during an anti-Muslim protest outside of Zorhan Mandami's home. Here's what we know. Do you see what they do here? Do you see why things are so dangerous right now? Do you see the propaganda? I mean, these guys have just been bought. CNN was just purchased by Paramount. Paramount's run by some pretty right-wing people. It's run by like, certainly not like, I don't know if they're like full hardcore MAGA, but they ain't going to tolerate this. These people are getting fired. CNN actually just said they were getting fired for writing this. Like break this down really quickly. This is why we do the show. This is why we do the show. This is sick. This will get more people killed. This radicalizes more people. The next Muslim terrorist reads this and says, CNN will write a puff piece on me. Enjoying a lovely day in New York. I just happened to throw a couple bombs at a protest I didn't like, and they're blaming the cops for arresting me. Can a couple ISIS terrorists just throw a few bombs without having to worry about being arrested on a nice day? Why didn't CNN just write that headline? That's the headline. Could a couple of ISIS, could we want some shawarma? We just want to smoke a hookah. We just want to do a call to prayer and throw a couple bombs at people, at infidels. Can't an ISIS terrorist just have a nice day in the city? What is wrong with this country? Can't we, ISIS terrorists, just throw bombs? It's our culture. Our culture is not your costumes. We just want to throw bombs in peace. It's a beautiful day outside in New York. We want to kill 50 or so peaceful protesters and NYPD cops. Can you just lay off us? This is what the CNN handle. This is what CNN is asking here. Oh, it makes my head explode. CNN got dragged so hard that something happened that we've never seen before in our lifetime. Maybe this might be one of the last times you ever see it. CNN actually posted and said, yeah, we did a bad thing. We thawi. A post regarding 2 individuals arrested for throwing homemade. How about ISIS terrorists, homegrown Muslim ISIS terrorists for throwing homemade bombs outside of New York City, Zohran Mandami's home, failed to reflect the gravity of the incident, thereby breaching the editorial standards required of reporting. Therefore, it has been deleted. It's amazing. They still have the article up on CNN that has the exact same lead. So they're not actually sorry. These people are they're begging. They're begging. Begging to get shut down by Ellison and Paramount. This is a great example. This is just a perfect example. This is why we do what we do. This is why it is critical to fight the information war. What's the update on this? Here we go. From the DOJ. We have charged the 2 ISIS-inspired terrorists with attempts to bomb a protest in New York City. We will not allow ISIS' poisonous anti-American ideology to threaten our nation. Our law enforcement officers will remain vigilant. Look at that photo. Look at the photo. Isn't it perfect? The first one there, Klein. That's just perfect. There's the ISIS terrorist chucking the bomb over the head of the simping white lib. It's just perfect. I mean, hang it. It's gallows humor, but like hang it in the Louvre, man. Like, this is the result of open borders, suicidal empathy. Suicidal empathy. This is what it's called. Suicidal empathy. And then the amount of blaming. I mean, look at this. Check out this article. Zohran Mandami blames white supremacy for radical Islam attack. Look at that. You made them bomb you. You made them bomb you. And the FBI was attacking Christians under Joe Biden. This is what the FBI was being used to. These individuals were building pipe bombs, building bombs. Thank God they didn't, go off. These glass canisters had within them explosive charges that were intended to kill and could have slaughtered 50 or more. It's a miracle. We witnessed a miracle. Praise God. We witnessed a miracle that these didn't go off. If this had happened to any other group of people in any other city, it'd be the biggest story in the world. If these guys were Christians, Christian nationalists, of course, everybody, the media would require everyone to to apologize, to rend our garments. But no, nobody can, not even the mayor of New York, radical communist Muslim, says anything about it. Mandami, here from Breitbart, Mandami condemns white supremacy protest, not radical Islam, after ISIS-linked Muslim bomb attack. Get out. Just get out. Get out. New York is cooked, man. New York is cooked.